where we left off. Isn't that right, you numpty? Well, she's apart, and the destruction is. She's pretty destroyed. Yeah. So I don't know whether they can put a new end on the shaft. The CV is destroyed. The inside one doesn't look too bad, but probably not good. So, yeah, there's just shrapnel. There's just bits everywhere. What's wrong with you? So yeah, waiting to hear back from Shoal Lake to see what the game plan is. Because as far as I can tell, from here on in, everything is fine. From here on out, everything's not fine. Because like I said, that's messed up. That's messed up. And this seal is still leaking that they replaced. So the universals that they replaced. And so yeah, these are non-greasable CBs. Which I don't agree with, but this is where we're at. So, we'll keep you informed. Going to old Johnny Deere to get this chores done. Okay, and also I was asked by one of you fine viewers. The loader's settled, dang it. Actually, no. I can take a pump. See, this universal on this side, tight as can be. It is absolutely meant to go. I can't do it with the camera, but I've already held my knee against the tire and grabbed the main ring on the CV and tried it for any play. The only play is on the splines in the planetary. Please, I'm filming here. You can't get good help these days. So yeah, the only plate is on the end splines, which for a 12,000 hour tractor, that's understandable. The other question was, why are the hubs why are the rims in such bad shape? We bought the tractor at 10,000 hours and it came like this. It came with all of these welds, reinforcements. There is some on the back wheels as well. Sorry, I don't have the wheel for this side. It's still over at, oh, it looks like I'm leaking. It's still over at Jody's. Dennis is working on. I know there's a couple of little spot welds on the rears, but it's the fronts. So I don't know what the previous farm had for equipment on the front end, but it looked like this when it came here. The front end had a fair bit of damage, so I dare say it got abused. That's why we had to rebuild the whole front end. So it's got all new bushings. I had to do some rebuild. Go to a previous video, I actually had to weld up the center pin and then grind it back as close as proximate to fit the bushings on. So that way it is actually quite good. So I rebuilt the pivot. They put a new ring and pinion and put all new seals in the fork tube. I'm trying to think of what they did, because when it was back getting the clutch and split, they addressed some leaks. This is the only one that's still leaking, and that's going to be a conversation between me and Chris. So yeah, I don't know. Big question is, can they get replacements for these? Which I'd hope so, considering 4 manufacturers built this model of tractor. So between the 4 of them, they should be able to get me at least 1 set of replacement. So between this and the actual CV, well, if they have to get a new front hub, then we'll be at that point. So, yeah. So there you go. That's why this is what this is. This has nothing to do with us. This is all pre the Shire. This whole nonsense with the cracks and the welds and all of the wear out. Like I said, I rebuilt all the pins and bushings on the loader, which is pretty well good now. I resealed the front rams best I could and fixed any little ding-dongs. I put some spot welds and then I buffed it down. It's holding up pretty good. It's damp, but it's not leaking anymore, so call that a win. I haven't done these ones yet, but I'm leaving that stuff till we get the clutch fixed. Clutch and the leaks. That's the big one. If we can get the clutch and the leaks fixed, then I'll spend money on this tractor. But until then, nope. Anyway, on to work. Through Hamiota, heading up to Show Lake with the parts. So I'm going to take this moment to address a comment I just read on my YouTube that you're watching right now. So the comment, I took it down, and before the person starts saying, oh yeah, there you go, just being a sensitive Sally, I didn't take the comment down because you offended me by what you said. I took the comment down because you used foul language. I noticed you strung it together all in one big long word sentence, salad or whatever you call them. That way that it wouldn't get flagged by YouTube. You've obviously done it before. I really shouldn't address it, but I'm going to. So the comment by this person, I'm not going to name them, basically said, if I start hauling around 2 bales on the front of the John Deere tractor, I will destroy it like I just destroyed the orange tractor. Now that's a fair comment, if it was true. Now what the person didn't seem to either stop and realize, or just didn't have the IQ, cumulative IQ, to see, was when I was hauling bales off the field, I was hauling straw. And if I had 2 bales in the front, 2 straw bales max out at 1,200 pounds for 2 5.5 foot wheat straw bales. Most of them are around about 1,100-ish, but maximum 1,200 pounds for 2 straw bales in the front. So, yeah, there was 2 bales in the front. Now, if you go back through enough of my videos, you'll see me sometimes carrying 2 hay bales. But if you watch long enough, you'll realize if I'm moving 2 hay bales, I'm not going far. I'm just saving some time and I'm moving them to the location where I then pick them up one at a time to process them, to put them in the bale feeders, whatever. But I never go any distance with 2 hay bales on the front of that tractor. So hopefully that I put it in plain enough crayons for you, bud. Now, as you will have seen in the previous clip, I just showed you the other side of the front axle. Perfectly tight, perfectly good, nothing wrong with it. So if I had just destroyed that front end, wouldn't the other side be letting go too? Don't you think? So, yeah. And yes, I am not meaning to put 2 bales in the front of the John Deere, because that tractor is not the size for moving more than 1 single hay bale at a time. It's just not big enough. It's to be stable to carry 2 straw bales. I'm not about to do that. So, yeah, I'm not doing that. Plus, we already know that little John Deere tractor has had its issues due to the front axle coming off of it, thanks to the previous owner using that huge big snow pusher blade. So yeah, I don't stand for foul language, but if you want to question me on what I'm doing, I'll address it. I will not back down from a healthy debate. But I won't stand for foul language, especially in the comment section for everybody to read, include children and older people. So less of it, please. Thank you. Nice swathers in there. Anyway, just left Shoal Lake. There's good news and bad news. Good news is the actual shaft. That's the one that's the most questionable. There is one out of Quebec. So outside of having to get stuff in from Europe, which there's more of these tractors in Massey Ferguson over in Europe than there is here. They found one that should be right. All the numbers, serial numbers all match, so it was like 340 bucks, which is pretty dang cheap for a half axle shaft. But it's got to get shipped from Quebec, so that'll probably hurt a bit. The shitty part, pardon my French, no pun intended, there's no coverage on the Universal. Because apparently CV Universals only have 12 months coverage. It was rebuilt on the 23rd, no, what was it, the 20th? February of 2023. So yeah, it's almost 2 years old, but no coverage. So we're gonna have to eat that. So we'll probably be into that broken CV for at least 1,000. But we don't have a tractor unless we have a CV joint. While they have it, they're gonna try and address that still leaking hub seal. So whether they send it off to get spray welded to build up the worn part, that's to be seen. Anyway, so not the answer I was looking for, but I just left it up there. I thought these folk know the parts. Instead of me taking it down to Dennis and unloading there, and then Dennis having to phone these guys to order the parts through them anyway. I thought, bugger it. But he said there has been issues with these non-greasable CVs pushing out the retaining clips. So I don't know whether those prop shaft, the shafts, the actual eyelets, whether the clip grooves were worn or maybe they weren't in properly. I don't know, and can't prove it either way. So yeah, it sucks. Piper Dog's not happy, but I know Mrs. Ostash would go to bat for us if she could. She says that there is no coverage, or they would have found it. But anyway, I think, like you all say, this is the writing on the wall. As soon as we can move this orange tractor to an auction or down the road, the sooner the better. And we got a lot of fresh looking happers. Hey there, girl. Yeah, tell you, I would put our home picked happers up against any pedigree papers any day. Hey, sweet girl. Hey, viewers. Yeah, you're a star. Well, considering I'm down a loader tractor, I'm not really all that, that doesn't make much of a difference to go out and get those bales right now anyway. So, might as well get a start at this. So yeah, it's gonna be this wall and that wall, and that's it. I don't need to do this wall. And I think for the most part, I'll probably do up to that and then maybe one more board, because you kind of have to look at what's the highest up a cow's bum can be. Now I'm probably gonna cap it, like when this is up here, I'll put pieces on, so that way nothing goes down in behind. I'm not insulating the building, so I'm not worrying about sticking stuff down the back there, because I'm not going to be heating it in general. And if you insulate it, that's just going to encourage critters to move into the walls. So I'm just going to leave them open. At some point I might put a false ceiling in here. I don't know. I don't really see a point, because it's not like that's going to hold the heat in any different than that, because that's a black tin roof. So during the day, that's going to heat up, will radiate quite a lot of heat downwards. So yeah, like I said, I can't see it. So that way, when I can get this wall up, this sheeting up, and then that way I can bring in the maternity pen and see where it's best going to fit. Because the more I look at it, the more it looks like we'll be able to get a holding pen, the maternity pen, and then two mothering pens back here. And then that way the panels on this side, these ones down here will have gates that open backwards, and like the back half will open this way and the front half will open that way. That way we can put animals into there, and then we can bring them back round and run them into the maternity pen to process them. That way, at any given time, we could have 4 pairs in here quite easily without fear of babies getting trampled. So, like I said, I'm hoping to be able to utilize this little shed with the minimal amount of investment to maximize, you know, helping mums and babies and whatnot. Because I was talking to Dr. Joe that we just had that cab with the frozen hawks down at. Because I think I said in the previous video that that he did our prolapse that was in the second timer's pen. So that's the nice thing about having our quiet cows. Because I walked her and her baby across the road and in here to where the maternity pen was sitting out on the straw, out in the open air. Lucky enough, it was a nice night that night. I actually have a picture somewhere of, like, it was a really beautiful night. Pardon me. So this way, at least, if we have another situation like that, outside of bringing the truck with the headlights, or we have these DeWalt flashlights that they have a lot of power, just to light this place up until we figure out whether we're just going to put a little Honda genset in here or something, which I think we might end up doing. It's either that or we just store the big welded generator in here at any given time, but it's hard to get past it, so probably not. Good idea, guys. Anyway, I better go feed the cows and come back and do this in a minute. So I know sometimes I go, oh, we've had a whole bunch of snow, and people are like, oh yeah, Piper Duck, you said you've had a whole bunch of snow. So yeah, the drifts are pretty, you know, decent around here. Got some snow around here. And then you get that. I'm not sure I can get through that in the tractor. That's taller than the wheels, the front wheels on this little John Deere. I'm not kidding. And you're all wondering, well, it's dark, Doug. Why are you out here? Well, if you saw in the previous clip, actually, you might not have. I actually might not have said this. The other few episodes back, I was supposed to go and help move the last of my mother-in-law's stuff out of her house. It got postponed due to weather. Well, today was it. So we've been away all day loading up the last of stuff from her garden sheds and from her basement that's staying in the family, and the rest of it's been donated. So that's me just back. We had supper and I'm coming out, and I had not seen this yet. This is insane. That is a lot of snow. Hey, look at that. I'm driving up onto the snowbank. That's how much snow there is there. Okay, I gotta back up to show this. That's crazy. I honestly don't know if I can get into that. I might need to go and see if the skid steer will start up, come down with the bucket and knock a hole in that. Because I don't think, I'm scared to go in the ditch because I might not come back from that. Okay, you talked me into it, I'm gonna try it. Because I know the grader pushed this. No way. There's no way. There's no way I'm getting through that. My gosh. Okay, go to the skid steer. Can you be quiet? Just for a minute, can you be quiet? Anyway, so, yeah, we hauled back a bunch of stuff from my mother-in-law's. So, there was like house stuff, furniture stuff going to the kids, like a bunch of gardening stuff. So, stuff that the kids didn't really need. And then there was just a whole bunch of like electrical boxes, because my father-in-law was a very handy man. He was also an industrial painter. So he's got cool old things like this, like they're no use for actual doing what they were bought for, but it's kind of cool memorabilia. Case in point, these, and 4 of these boxes are never opened. And some of you will know what this is. So, glass. So my father-in-law, out of one of his many jobs, he was a high rigger. So at one point he was hired to change the light bulbs in those masts that are a quarter-mile tall. That was one of his jobs, that he would go and change the bulbs. And quite often, part of the job was that after so many rotations, these had to be changed out, even if they were perfectly fine. So, that one's open, and this one didn't have a box. These ones were never opened. So, they were ones that were bought, and then they were already outdated by the time it came time to put them up. So he had just a whole box of them sitting around. So, how cool are these? Somewhere there is a box that actually has the clamps. So these would screw in, and then there's clamps to actually lock them in so they can't come out. And then also, he had these really cool vintage kind coyote lures. So yeah, you move them over, and then you put some treats in here. And yeah, it's supposed to be like super nice to bring the coyotes in so you can relocate them. How nice is that? There's 2 of them. Yeah. I don't know, there's some cool writing on them. So yeah, isn't that funny that they thought of that even back then? How you could capture the coyote nice and gentle like, and then take them to another place like a sanctuary. Yeah. So nice. Can't wait to try them out. Maybe have a party trick. See if you can grab a piece of chocolate off of them. So yeah, so they're kind of cool. So yeah, like I said, it was just a whole bunch of everything. So I just dropped everything into these boxes to get them out of the shed. Here's these clamps that hold those glass lenses on. Let's see if there's any names on them. But yeah, I wouldn't have fancied that job. Imagine how tired you would be getting to the top of those big towers, the ones that are like red and white painted. Like, holy moly. Anyway, so I'm gonna go back. I've got the skid steer parked. I got a hole punched in those snowbanks, so I'll meet you back in the tractor, folks. You're a weird cat. 3-wheel tractor still. Bye. to have that big orange tractor with the pushing blade on it. Yeah, we've had enough of this stuff. So yeah, I had to cut a hole, just enough to squeeze through for tonight. Freaking nuts! Nuts, I tell ya! Tell you, driving through all these snowbanks, I'm just gonna destroy this tractor, you know. I don't know what I'm doing. So look at this. I'm gonna hit this snowbank, probably just gonna destroy the tractor. Oi, 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 look at that. That's the same height as the fenders of the tractor. That's the same height as the cab of the tractor. Woo! Okay. I'll go feed the cows and I'll bring you back. Maybe tomorrow I'll see if I can dig the bucket out for this tractor. I haven't tried the grab since I got that cable freed up. So maybe we'll plug that in tomorrow and see if it's gonna work. If not, I'll just remove the grab off the bucket and just use it as a bucket, because some silly person went and changed the loader mounts over from John Deere over to the orange tractor. So I can't even put the big pusher blade back on this, even though I shouldn't. Oh yeah, I got a nice big snowbank right here. I better drop a gear so I don't blow my tractor up. Isn't that right, guys? Yeah, this snowbank is beyond a joke. That's eye height to me in the tractor. All of that snow. Oh, I really wish somebody else would rent the land just west of us and put a crop in it. Finally, in 3 years. Anyway. Man, oh man. I was just saying some, I think this is in the top 3 of snowfalls that we've ever seen since coming to this country. This year is our 30th anniversary. This December 10th, it will be 30 years we've been in this country. And I tell you, I still don't know what a normal year is. I remember asking old Dick and Charlie, World War II veterans, what's a normal year like for weather-wise? They looked at each other and just started laughing. I now know why they started laughing at me. Yeah. Because I think if you ever figure out what normal weather is, you'll be the only person in Canada. So, you can see that. That's what I had to do just to get the cows fed tonight. Even though it turns out the cows didn't need fed tonight, they still had half-filled bale feeders, but with us being only a month away from calving, I didn't want the girls to be searching, digging through the bottom of the bale feeders, because we don't feed grain, we don't feed any of that stuff, silage right now. We will be someday, but so we make sure they have the best of the hay. That's what we do. And we've had success with this financially, and you've all seen our cows. They're not hurting for belly fat. So well, she's shutting her down time again, folks. Yeah, like I said, it was kind of, I hope you can hear me, it's a bit breezy. I didn't want to, I don't like to name names. I know other people can do it, and they can do it if they want to. But yeah, when I had my little rant at the start of the episode, I don't have any ill will towards that person, I honestly don't. He's entitled to his opinion. And that's the thing, is like I said, if he had gone about it with respect and without the foul language, I would have left his comments stand, because it's one of the reasons that I do this channel, is to have transparency, show when I mess up, show when stuff doesn't go right, to show the good times and bad times, and to hopefully entertain everybody. Like I said, this job's hard enough without us taking shots at each other. And of course we're coming into calving season, and we're all going to get pretty dang busy, and we're all going to get pretty dang wore down. So, yeah. So I'm going to plug this truck in because I want to take it to town tomorrow, because it hasn't stretched its legs for a while. And then I got to plug the skid steer in because I want to use it to push snow. Because it is better for, especially like cleaning out the lane and whatnot. So yeah, I am gonna say thanks for watching. Thanks to all the new subscribers. Hopefully you stick around. For all those in the know, happy Robbie Burns Day. It is the National Poet of Scotland's Day. Robbie Burns, when we all have our haggis, which I did not get to have my haggis tonight. I had Chinese. I know, sacrilege. A Scottish bagpiper had Chinese food on Robbie Burns night. I had haggis this week though, so that's my excuse. So yeah, so if you want to see the rest of the story about what I was talking about, the comment and the person with the rather strong opinion, go over to BCP Farm and Trucking. He talks about his run-in with the same person and that person's opinion on his place. And so yeah, we will see you in the next video, and hopefully it's hopefully we're not pushing snow. We can get back to building that shelter. So thanks everybody. Teddy bye for now.